Hello, this is JB Sissel with ICTV. Mike Ingersoll is joining us remotely for today's Ask Mike question. Mike, how does the team maintain morale with so many injuries when they know they're not putting their best players out on the field? Thanks again for joining us today, Mike. How are you doing?
Hey, JB. Yeah, and you ask a really tough question. It changes from team to team, but from a player's standpoint, it's a little debilitating at first once you get the news. But one thing that I know this coaching staff specifically, Coach Fedora's coaching staff is really good at, and most coaching staffs are good at, is trying to deflect the distraction of the injuries away. One thing you hear a lot, kind of a buzz phrase. They have it in New England. A lot of teams kind of have it, made it famous, is the next man up, ideology, and that's really just, you're always going to have injuries. Football is a violent game, and the human body just isn't really designed for American football the way that it's developed over the past 30 or 40 years. You know, guys are bigger, faster, and stronger now than they've ever been. I mean, it's a physiological fact, and people are just going to get hurt, and that's true at the pro level, it's true at the college level, and it's true at the high school level. With the advent of weight training programs that have gotten significantly more complex and effective at the high school level, you're seeing the athletic explosiveness really trickling up all the way from the high school level through college and into the pro ranks, and that's where you're getting, whereas a guy like Julius Peppers in 2002 was an anomaly at 6'7", 6'8", 290 pounds solid muscle. He's pretty much the norm now for offensive linemen, defensive linemen, players all over the place. So as players get more advanced and the game gets more advanced and disruptive, more violent, there's going to be injuries like this. Now, an injury bug like this we have right now in Chapel Hill, I've never seen this before. But that's also not a death sentence for the team. There's a lot more depth here than people really are seeing, and I think what we're really going to notice is how good of a job this coaching staff has done to this point in developing players, and we're really going to know whether the staff is worth its weight in salt moving forward in getting guys, rolling guys out onto the field that maybe necessarily wouldn't have played in the past, would have just been relegated to backup roles that might be thrust into starting positions and some real heavy contribution type situations. I think we're going to be surprised with how well some of those guys do. Young players that get thrown into the fire like that, they just don't have any choice but to be good. They don't have any choice but to produce. And again, I've said this time and time again, though injuries can be debilitating and though they can be a little deflating to a team and to a fan base, what they offer is somebody else the opportunity to get game reps. And there's nothing more valuable to a player in his development than game reps. And we got a lot of guys that are going to get some reps now that are going to build depth moving forward. But again, like I said, that doesn't make this a lost season. It's not a death sentence on this season. I still think this team can make a bowl game. And honestly, with the injury bug that's bitten the team, now we've got Austin Proehl down. Looks like we've got Toe Groves is back out again after only getting one gain of action. Andre Smith, we know, is gone. We've lost Bentley Spain's been out a few games, and hopefully he can keep it together the rest of the year. But we've lost William Sweet on the offensive line. Hatton is still a question mark. We don't know when he'll be back, if he'll be back. We've got guys hurt all over the place, and but what that's done is that's given a lot of younger guys a chance to get better, and it's built depth. I think that if we can roll some guys in there and get some production out of them, this team absolutely can make a bowl game, and that will be a huge accomplishment considering all the big name players, all the huge contributors that we had that have now gone down with injuries. So yeah, it affects the team immediately, but what the team is really good at doing, what most teams are good at doing, is putting all that behind them and just moving forward. Because each guy is essentially an independent contractor. He's got a job, and he's got to take care of that himself, and he's got to worry about him and his job and his responsibilities. And that's what good players do, and I think we've got a roster full of them. The guys that are hurt, but most especially the guys that were backing them up that are now going to be thrust into those situations where they're going to have to contribute a lot and really make a difference for this season moving forward. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I know it seems like all hands on deck, and it is. But this coaching staff has done a great job, especially Coach Cap on the offensive line, of having their guys ready in those backup roles for when they're called upon to become starters like they are right now. So keep a positive attitude. I know the coaching staff is. I know the players are. And don't let this affect your support for the team from a fan standpoint, because I promise you it's not affecting the guys' preparation from a playing standpoint.
Mike, thanks for joining us to take today's question on injuries and team morale. For Mike Ingersoll, this is JB Sissel with ICTV. Thanks for watching.